beneath the desert sands of Abydos, a single roof once covered hundreds of bodies. Not warriors fallen in battle, but an entire royal household, sealed into the earth on the same day, nearly 5,000 years ago. This was the dark reality of Egypt's First Dynasty. When a pharaoh died, his servants, his craftsmen, even his animals, followed him into the dark. It was a practice so brutal, later generations spent 2 millennia trying to erase it, replacing flesh with tiny clay figures. But what compelled an entire court to enter the grave willingly? The popular image of ancient Egypt glows with golden masks, towering pyramids, and serene gods promising eternal life. This polished mythology, however, obscures a much darker truth from the civilization's very beginning. Around 3000 BCE, during the First Dynasty, the earliest pharaohs did not merely command armies or build monuments. They commanded lives, even in death. When a king of this foundational era departed the mortal realm, he was not interred alone. His entire living court, an assembly of loyal subjects, was expected to accompany him into the afterlife. The sacred royal cemetery of Abydos, nestled in the southern desert, serves as the chilling stage where this forgotten practice is etched into the very ground. It is here, far from the later grandeur of Luxor or Giza, that we confront the brutal reality of Egypt's genesis, a period where loyalty was measured not in service, but in sacrifice. How many souls paid this ultimate price for their king's eternal journey? The question of numbers finds its answer around the massive mud brick tomb of King Jur at Abydos. Here, archaeologists discovered not just one royal burial, but over 300 separate subsidiary graves, meticulously arranged around the central chamber. These were not the tombs of later, wealthy commoners, but mass interments directly linked to the monarch's final journey. Among the buried were servants, women of the royal harem, skilled craftsmen, and even dwarfs, likely members of the court. Animals, too, found their place in this morbid procession. Sacrificed dogs and donkeys were interred, intended to serve the pharaoh in the next world. This practice peaked dramatically under early First Dynasty kings like Jur and Jet, showcasing a profound, almost unimaginable scale of human retainer sacrifice. Yet, as the dynasty progressed, the sheer number of these associated burials began to fall. This decline offered the first subtle clue that this brutal tradition would not endure indefinitely, hinting at a coming shift in Egyptian mortuary beliefs. What drove this eventual abandonment? Archaeological evidence confirms these subsidiary graves were not individual funerals spread over years, but a single, synchronized event. The consistent layering of materials, indicating one continuous roof covered all burials simultaneously, speaks to a mass interment. Historians now understand that an entire retinue was sealed into the earth on the same day as their king. The manner of their deaths offers a chilling insight into these rituals. Many skeletons show no signs of violent trauma. This absence suggests methods like poison or strangulation, designed for a swift, clean ritual death, rather than brutal execution. Yet the debate rages among scholars. Were these individuals willing participants in a sacred sacrifice, believing they would serve their pharaoh in the afterlife? Or were they subjects forced into their graves by royal command, coerced into loyalty? The silence of the bones does not offer a clear answer, leaving us to wonder about the true nature of their final moments. By the end of the First Dynasty, this gruesome tradition of mass human sacrifice vanished almost completely from royal burials. The shift was profound and abrupt. In its place emerged an ingenious and less brutal solution: the Shabti figurine. These small, carved clay or wooden servants were placed in tombs, magically imbued with the power to labor for the deceased in the afterlife, replacing real bodies with inanimate substitutes. This innovation marked a turning point, signaling one of history's earliest recorded instances of a civilization consciously abandoning a deeply ingrained sacred practice. No longer would hundreds accompany their king to the grave. Instead, a pharaoh's eternal needs would be met by a legion of miniature stand-ins, a testament to a changing societal morality, or perhaps a growing pragmatism. This transition begs the question, why did Egypt, a culture steeped in tradition, so decisively turn its back on such an ancient ritual? This chapter of early Egyptian history remains largely forgotten, deliberately buried beneath the polished mythology of later dynasties. Later, Egypt carefully constructed an image of serene gods and god-kings, preferring to obscure the brutal origins of its foundational practices. Yet, the death pits of Abydos refuse to be silenced. They speak of a deeper Egyptian idea, that the afterlife was not an escape from earthly rank and service, but a direct continuation of it. For the earliest pharaohs, their status demanded not merely symbolic offerings, but the ultimate sacrifice from their court. Hundreds of nameless people, whose only enduring record is a grave beside a king, lie beneath the sands of Abydos. They wait, silent witnesses to a forgotten age, their individual stories lost to time, but their collective fate an indelible mark on the birth of a civilization. What other uncomfortable truths about our ancient past still lie hidden, waiting to be rediscovered?